You know, when they say, do to others what you wish them do to you, for this is the word of the Lord. Well, for those of you who don't believe in God, or maybe you don't believe that God exists, I want to tell you that that law, do to others what you wish them do to you, it's very, very correct, even in the layman or in the traditional way. How will you did this thing, same thing in the past, to take over collect back your three parties from the PDP. According to you, it was rigged, and you got forensic experts, and now you have been selected by INEC chairman through the backyard runs you put it. Even when Dino Melaya told you that these elections you are reading as INEC chairman were false and not the same with what they had, you refused. You didn't listen to them. Now it is your turn, Tinubu. You want everybody to fall on their feet and worship you because they selected election for you. Nobody should go to court or speak on television. That is a big lie. Watch these guys.
In 2007, when our party, then the ACA, was rigged out of elections in Osun, in Ekiti, in Ondo, and in Edo State, I was asked, he invited me to his residence, as Ashwaju invited me to his residence at Bodilon. And he said to me, the only way by which we can possibly reclaim the states that have been taken away from us by this rigging is going through the courts. And he said to me that the only way is by proving that there was multiple voting. In other words, proving that a few people simply thumbprinted ballot papers, dumped the ballot papers into ballot boxes, and they were counted in favor of the opposition, then of course the PDP. He then said to me that the only way we can do this is by somehow, he says, I don't know how you are going to do it, but somehow proving by forensic evidence that this is exactly what happened. I said to him, I said, Ashiwaju, look, nobody has ever proved an electoral case, an electoral petition by forensic evidence. There's just no history of it. He said, and I said, what is even more? We have over a million ballot papers. If we consider all of the ballot papers in each of these states, there are over a million. In fact, at the time, there were about 1.3 million ballot papers, putting together all the states. And how can we prove multiple voting? He said, I've told you what my own view is. You just go and look for a way of sorting this out. So I went to the UK and met with possibly the most experienced fingerprint expert in the entire United Kingdom, a gentleman called Adrian Forty, introduced to me by some of the QCs who I'd worked with in the UK. And when I told Adrian Forty the enormity of the problem, he laughed and almost fell off his chair. He said, in all my own almost 50 years of experience as a fingerprint expert, I have not even done up to 4,000 fingerprints. You are now saying that I should come and do 1.3 million fingerprints. Come on, I mean, that's almost impossible. Anyway, so we parted that day, that was a Thursday. And then he called me back on a Monday and said, let's talk again about this crazy thing that you are suggesting. And we sat and talked about it. And somehow designed a way. He said, of course, we used a bit of technology. But most importantly, we were able to get fingerprint experts. He said to me, the only way is to get the number of fingerprint experts that have never been assembled before. I said, about how many? He said a minimum of 50 fingerprint experts. In the end, we hired 63 fingerprint experts, 63. 50 of them were from the UK police. What was even more interesting about that was that even to get the UK police to support us, Ashwaju had to come all the way from Nigeria to come and talk to friends and people who he knew to try and persuade the authorities to let us use the UK police. In the end, they allowed us to, of course, in the spare time of those policemen. And we got an additional 10 policemen. Altogether, 63 policemen working flat out for almost 6 months. We're able to put together for the first time, definitely in the history of electoral petitions anywhere in the world, we're able to put together a solid forensic case that showed that all of the places where we were defeated, it was on account of multiple thumb printing. And we also demonstrated that it was impossible for those who said they voted. For instance, we showed that if you cast 20,000 votes in a particular unit, when we calculated the time that it takes to cast one single vote, it's usually above 5 minutes. But we discovered that our friends in that other political party were able to cast their votes in 5 seconds, because all they were doing was simply thumb printing. They just simply take out a booklet and thumb print as many as possible. So we were able to demonstrate all of that in court. Cut a long story short, one by one, we were able to get back the states that had been taken away from us. The only way by which that could ever have been achieved is surely not just by the vision, but by the determination of the leader, of our leader at that time. It was, of course, the leader of the ACN at the time.
The mischief that occurred. The results for the National Assembly elections, which occurred at the same time, simultaneously with the presidential results, were able to be uploaded, but the presidential election results were not uploaded. And till this day, as we speak, the results have not even been completely uploaded. What is even shocking is that we have seen photographs of individuals, a woman in a bathroom, uploaded supposedly as results on INEC's IREV page till this day. How can you elect someone on the basis of the photograph of a woman in the bathroom? I want to quickly mention that a lot of the international observers who were there were as disenchanted as I was. There were 4 African presidents, former presidents, who were in Nigeria to observe the elections. There were over 144,000 observers deployed across the country. And they all were disenchanted by what they saw. I want to say that what happened in Nigeria was not election of observation, but a crime watch. We watched a crime being perpetrated on a country of 200 million people with utter and complete impunity. I also want to say that President Jimmy Carter has been vindicated. He went and observed elections in Nigeria many years ago, and he was so upset at the impunity and the brazen theft of the election that he vowed never to go back to Nigeria again. And as that distinguished president is in hospice care, he stands vindicated because Nigeria has refused to learn his lesson. One of the American observers that I spoke with mentioned 2 things. One, he said that, well, at least this election was better than the 2003 election. And I said to him, if we're... Stop.